Alrighty, so I just learned yesterday that the USA-based Ontario Knife Company, or OKC, was recently just sold, and the result of the sale is they will be closing their knife factory in Franklinville, New York. So this marks an end to another USA-produced knife company. I was reading the article yesterday, and basically, the company that owned Ontario, Servotronics, they decided to sell the company to Blue Ridge Knives, and for whatever reason, the result of that is they're closing down the factory, which will put 56 employees, talented knife makers, out of a job, and that'll take effect July 27th of 2023. Um, I guess when some of the locals in Franklinville, they heard that Ontario was going to be sold, they tried to gather up some money and buy the company to keep the factory going and producing knives in Franklinville, but they ran short on funds, about 600K. So Servotronics, being a big aircraft equipment producing company, for whatever reason, they bought Ontario way back, but they decided to go with the highest bidder, and that was Blue Ridge Knives. And I looked on Blue Ridge's website, and basically they said that they are a knife, sword, and equipment wholesale distributor. So they don't actually produce any of their own stuff, they just distribute various brands. So one big question I have is I don't know what's going to happen with their overseas produced knives, like the very popular Rat 1 and Rat 2s. They're made in Taiwan. They've been a fan favorite for the past couple of decades. Um, but I'm assuming that they'll keep these foreign made knives still in production because that's going to be their bread and butter now, since the USA factory is going to be closing. I think it's just another Schrade, what happened with them in 2004. When Schrade went out of business, they sold their their name and their stuff to a company that started producing their stuff overseas. Um, but I don't think we'll see any more USA made Ontarios unless Blue Ridge decides to like contract out some of their knives to like Bear & Son or Case, like we've seen recently with Schrade with their generational series. They've contracted out with Bear & Son to bring back some USA made old timers, which is cool, but they're still not the quality that the old ones were. And if you're not familiar with Ontario, they've been producing knives in the States for almost 130 years, or about 130 years. Very well known for their fixed blades, like the bayonets and this Air Force survival pilot knife. They've had numerous government contracts, especially with the military, fitting them with knives over a long period, especially bayonets. And these are just some of the fixed, actually, these are all the fixed blades I have of Ontario. I got them because they're pretty inexpensive for being USA made. I know some people harp on Ontario for not being the best quality, and I agree with them. They're not comparable to GC or even SC or some other fixed blades that are USA produced, but they're a lot cheaper. So I got this one for like $50 on Amazon. This Raider Bowie 1075 carbon steel, a solid knife. Comes with like a crappy nylon sheath, but you get what you pay for, you know. And I wasn't willing to pay 120, $150 for a fixed blade. So for half the price, I can't complain. Really like this Bushcraft Woodsman, my largest knife in my collection. I was actually thinking about selling this one, but after I learned that Ontario is going to go under, I am going to keep all these. Also, they're really well known for the Old Hickory line. Ontario produces Old Hickory, so no more Old Hickory. Also made in the States, very well known for their kitchen knives, carbon steel. Just very basic, inexpensive knives. You can get a lot of the old hickories for less than 20 bucks. So no more old hickory, sadly. Yeah, it just marks another end to a USA knife company. I think three major companies have gone out of business over the past 20 years with Schrade in 2004, Camillus in I think 2007, and then Ontario in 2023. And all three of those knife companies have been making knives for decades. So they're not new. Obviously, Schrade and Camillus, they've been making knives or made knives forever until their demise. So let me know what your thoughts are if you're trying to pick up some Ontarios before they go out of business or before they become scarce on the secondary market, because like once the word is out, the stock is going to go down and there's only so much stock of these. All right, well, leave a comment what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time.